Good day, everyone. So for today's video, we're going to discuss something about the general equation of the parabola. We simply have the general equation of the parabola by expanding the standard form of the equation. Alright, so let us have the example from our last video. So that is actually y minus 1 equals, or y minus 1 squared equals 12 times x minus 5, wherein we can simply determine that our vertex there. So let me just first rewrite the equation. That is y minus 1 squared equals to 12 times x minus 5. So we can simply determine the vertex by looking at the standard form, knowing that our h is 5 and our k is 1. Hence, the vertex is at 5, 1. And knowing that si 12 po natin ay yung length ng ating latus rectum. And base dun sa ating standard form of the equation that if we have here, ganito po yan, that is y minus k squared equals to 4c times x minus 5 minus 5, then we all know that 4c here is the length of our latus rectum. Hence, si 12 ay equal kay 4c. And for us to get the value of c alone, para makuha natin yung focus, then we simplify this. Hence, the value of c is 3. Okay po? And knowing the standard form of the equation of the parabola, wherein 4c here is 12, which is positive, it gives us an idea that the parabola may either opens upward or to the right. Since si y yung ating naka-square, then our parabola opens to the right. Okay, since it gives this an idea dito si xi towards positive. Okay po, so that means that our parabola opens to the right. And if it opens to the right, ibig sabihin, yung ating magiging focus would be 3 units to the right of our vertex. So the focus would be at to the 3 units to the right. Ibig sabihin, ang gagalawin natin ay yung x. So that would be 5 plus the value of c, 1. And that is actually equivalent to 5 plus 3, 1, which gives us 8, 1. So this is where our focus is. Okay po? And since it opens to the right, hence our axis of symmetry is perpendicular to our x-axis. Parallel to our x-axis. At kapag parallel siya sa x-axis, ibig sabihin, yung equation niya would start at y kasi parallel siya kay x-axis. So, ibig sabihin, ano ba yung common dito kay vertex at saka kay focus? Since we have the idea that the axis of symmetry actually connects the vertex and the focus, and that is actually 1. Ibig sabihin, the axis of symmetry would be at y equals 1. Okay po? And lastly, the directrix is actually what? Is actually, again, 3 units since it opens to the right. So, 3 units to the left of our vertex. So, kung to the left siya, ang gagalawin natin ay yung x. So, that would be 5 minus 2. Hence, the directrix would be at x equals what? That would be x, or 5 minus 3. So, that would be x equals 2. So, ito po yung ating directrix. So, that's how simple it is when we are given a standard form of the equation. Okay? Now, the general form of the equation is simply yielded the moment we expand this standard equation. So, kapag in-expand natin yan, okay, so let me just erase all this. So, this is just a review. If we just expand the standard form, then we have the general form. So, that is actually the square of y plus minus 1. So that is actually y minus 1 times y minus 1 equals, pwede na natin dito, that's 12 times x, that is actually 12x, sorry. That's actually 12x minus, or 12 times negative 5, that is actually negative 60. And then we simplify this. This is square of a binomial. That is actually y times y times negative 1, and then negative 1 times y. And then we have negative 1 times negative 1. That is y squared minus 2y plus 1 equals to 12x minus 60. And then by equating all terms to 0, that would be y squared. So, easy 12x, ililipat natin sa kabila. That makes it negative 12x. And then we have here negative 2y. And then we have positive 1. And then ililipat din natin sa kabila si negative 60. That becomes positive 60 equals 0. And by the rule of math, simplifying this, we have y squared minus 12x minus 2y plus 61, if you're gonna simplify this, equals 0. So this would be the standard form of the equation of the parabola. Okay? So let us have an example. This is the general form of the equation of the parabola. So let us have an example wherein we are given the general form and we are to determine the features of the parabola. By the way, these are the general equation of the parabola wherein kapag si x yung naka-square, that is ax squared plus cx plus dy plus equals 0. Or the other way around, we have here by squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. So let us have an example. So let us have this. We have here y squared minus 5x plus 12y plus 60. So for us to transform this into standard form of the equation, what we're going to do is just first to rewrite that. That is y squared minus 5x plus 12y plus 16 equals 0. Then, ang gagawin natin, i-group natin yung magkakapareho. And I am actually talking about the y terms here. So, we'll be having y squared plus 12y. And then, all other terms would be transposed to the other side of the equation, making this si 5x, kapag nilipat sa kabila, that becomes positive 5x. And then si positive 16, kapag nilipat sa kabila, that becomes negative 16. And what we're going to do with this term is for us to complete the square. And for us to do that, we have y squared plus 12y plus a certain value equals 5x minus 16 plus yung idadagdag natin dito. So, to complete the square, gagawin natin is for us to divide positive 12 by 2. That is actually 6. Or that is actually 6. And what we're going to do is that to square it. And that is actually 36. So, we have here plus 36. At kapag nag-add tayo dito, sa kabila ay mag-add din tayo ng 36. And by this, we have y plus 6 square. Okay, that's y plus 6 square equals to 5x. So we have here negative 16 plus 36. That is actually positive 20. But since ang kailangan natin is dito, ipa-factor out natin ito para makuha natin yung 4c. At para maging x lang ito, what we're going to do is to factor out 5. And that makes it y plus 6 square equals to 5. Kapag inalis natin si 5 kay 5x, that is actually x. And then if we factor out 5 to that of positive 20, that is actually positive 4. Hence, we have this one. We have y plus 6 square equals to 5 times x plus 4. But since still not the exact standard form of the equation, dahil ang nakalagay sa standard form natin ay y minus k, then we make it y minus k. So we have, paano ba natin ma-represent to na meron difference? So that is actually y minus negative 6 square, because kapag inano natin, that is actually positive, equals to 5 times x minus negative 4. Now, we are now given the value of k and the value of h. Hence, we can now simply determine the vertex of the parabola. Alright, so the vertex of the parabola would be at hk, and that is negative 4, comma, negative 6. And then, since ang 5 natin dito is actually the length of our latus rectum, that is actually 4c. Okay, so that is 4c equals 5. And for us to get the value of c, we have to divide both sides by 4, yielding the value of c as 5 over 4. Or this is actually equivalent to what? That is 1.25 if I am not mistaken. Okay? So we are now given the vertex and we are now given the value of c. Now, let us determine whether the parabola opens upward, downward, to the left, or to the right by looking at our standard equation. Okay? Since si y yung naka-square, ibig sabihin, it is either what? It is either opens to the left or to the right kasi si y yung naka-square. And since the 4c here now is positive, then the opening of the parabola is towards the positive x-axis. Hence, our parabola actually what? Actually opens to the right. Opens to the right. Okay? So, for us to determine the focus of our parabola, we all know that the focus, kapag to the right siya, would be what? To the right of our vertex, which is negative 4, comma, negative 6. And yung layo niya would be what? 1.25. So, our focus would be what? Well, that would be to the right of the vertex. So, ang gagalawin natin ay yung h. So, that is negative 4 plus our c, that's 1.25, comma, negative 6. So, our focus would be at what? That would be negative 4 plus 1.25. That is actually negative what? Negative 2.75 if I'm not mistaken, comma, negative 6. So, this is where our focus is. Okay? So, we still have two salient features of the parabola left, and that is our directrix. So, si directrix natin is, we all know that that is also c units away from our vertex. But since nasa right niya na si focus, then yung ating directrix would be at the left of our vertex. And that is actually what? So, magma-minus tayo ng 1.25 kay negative 4. And that is what? The directrix would be what? Since kay each tayo nagbabago, that is actually x equals what? That is negative 4 minus 1.25. And that will yield to x equals negative 5.25. So, this is where our directrix is. Okay po? And lastly is our axis of symmetry. So, our axis of symmetry is a line which divides the parabola into two congruent parts. Now, since the parabola opens to the right, then our axis of symmetry is perpendicular to our directrix and is parallel to our x-axis. So, kung parallel siya kay x-axis, ibig sabihin, ano ba yung common kay focus at saka kay vertex? That is actually the k, and that is negative 6. Hence, our axis of symmetry is parallel to the x-axis. That is why it would start with y. And since ang common sa kanila is negative 6, so that would be y equals negative 6. So this is where our axis of symmetry is. And that is how we play the standard or the general form of the equation of the parabola for us to get the salient features of a parabola. Let us now have another example. Suppose we are given the general equation of the parabola 2x squared plus 12x minus 24y minus 51 equals 0. So same thing or same process ang gagawin po natin just like what we did a while ago. So first we have here 2x squared plus 12x minus 24y minus 24y minus 51 equals 0. So we have, what we're going to do is to group in which I am actually talking about x's. Alright, so we'll have 2x squared plus 12x, and then all other terms would be transposed to the other side of the equation, making this equal to, so this becomes positive 24y, and then we have positive 51. And then what we're going to do with this group is for us to complete the square. So we'll be having 2x squared plus 12x plus blank equals to 24y plus 51. But since meron tayong numerical coefficient x squared, ilalabas muna natin siya. So that is 2 times x squared. Since nilabas natin si 2, this becomes positive 6x na lang. Plus blank equals to 24y plus 51 plus blank. So for us to complete the square, what we're going to do is to divide positive 6 by 2. That is actually what? That is actually positive 3. And then we have to square it. That is positive 9. And since nag-add tayo ng 9 dito, ang i-add natin sa kabila is 18. Since i-multiply muna natin si 9 kay 2 bago natin siya i-add sa kabila. Okay po? And that is 18. So with this we have 2 times, ito is actually completed na yung square, that is x plus 3 square equals to what? That's 24y. So that would be 51, positive 51. That's positive 51 plus 18. So we have here positive 69. And then what we're going to do now is for us to simplify. Since may 2 tayo dito, we divide both sides by 2 para ma-simplify natin. So we'll be having x plus 3 square equals what? This is actually 12y plus what's 69 over 2? That is actually, or you can actually have 69 over 2 if you want, but this is actually 34.5 if I'm not mistaken. Okay? And then, sige, gawin lang natin munang fraction. That is 69 over 5. So that is 69 over 2. And then, what we're going to do now is for us to factor this out para makuha natin yung 4c. So that is x plus 3 square equals to what? That is 12 times y plus, and if we're going to divide this by 12, that is actually 69 over 2. Divide by 12, that is simply saying multiplied by its reciprocal. That is what? 69 over 24. Or in lowest term, ang lowest term niya is actually what? That is actually, common nila is actually 3. So that would be what? That would be 23 over 8. So we have 23 over 8. Okay? And then we have that. So since ang meron tayo is the difference, so that is 8x minus h. So we make it x minus h then. So we have x minus, so we have x minus negative 3 square equals to 12 times y minus what? Minus negative 23 over 8. Alright? And this is where we can extract all salient features of our parabola. Wherein the vertex, makikita natin, the vertex is at negative 3, negative 23 over 8. And the length of the latus rectum now is 12, wherein that is actually 4c. So we have 12, then the value of c would be 3. And all other features will follow, just like what we did a while ago.